Welcome, everyone. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon. No, The Forgetting Moon's there. The Blackest Heart. I'm the author of both of the novels, Forgetting Moon, Blackest Heart. Both published by Simon & Schuster Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein. This is only the second Robert Heinlein book I've ever read. The first one I read about 20 years ago, and I've read it a couple times since, and that's Stranger in a Strange Land. I enjoyed it. I don't know why I never ever picked up any other Robert Heinlein books, but I decided I would go on eBay and get all of the Robert Heinlein classic science fiction novels. So in my next book haul, you will see a stack of Robert Heinlein classic science fictions. And I decided to read this one first. I love the cover. You know, we always discuss the covers. This is the original paperback that came out in 1959. That's a dope cover. There is no information on who the artist is. Inside the book, I tried to look online. I couldn't find it. Only 75 cents. Don't know if you can see that. Only 75 cents back in the day. That's how much these paperbacks cost. I think on eBay, I got this one in mint condition for like $5. Anyway, what did I think about this book? Well, if you've seen the movie that came out in the 1990s, Starship Troopers, the movie bears no resemblance to the novel at all. In fact, if there's one movie adaptation that I could say bears zero influence to the novel, I mean zero. The novel maybe influenced the name only for the movie, because there's nothing in that movie that resembles anything that's in the book whatsoever. But it was a good movie, and I remember I watched it when it came out in the theaters back in the 90s, and I watched it twice because I thought it was pretty cool. Don't know why I never picked up the novel until now, but I just did. What do I think about the novel? Starship Troopers, it's got a great opening scene. Got a great opening scene about where these Starship Troopers, it's the prologue, the Starship Troopers, our main man, Johnny Rico, he's one of the Starship Troopers, and the Starship flies them over a planet, and they got to drop all of the army guys down onto the planet. It's kind of like paratroopers, right? But from a starship. You know, they get in these little cocoons. Each individual soldier gets into a cocoon, and they shoot them out of the starship, and the cocoon drops down through the atmosphere, and the cocoon kind of gets burnt off of them as they fall, then they parachute the rest of the way down, and then they fight the war, much like the D-Day soldiers did. The paratroopers that flew over France, they parachuted down into France. It's similar to that. In fact, there's a lot of this was written not that far after World War II finished. This was written right during the Korean War. So there's a lot of philosophizing about the good and the bad of war and conflict. And so when Johnny Rico, that's the prologue, all right? It's just that scene of them parachuting from outer space down to the planet and then fighting a battle. And then chapter 1, we start back at Johnny Rico when he's a kid, like a late teenage kid, and he's telling his father, hey, I don't want to follow in your footsteps, Dad. I want to go join the army. And his dad's like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. In fact, there are no wars. There haven't been any wars forever. Why would you do that? It's just a waste of time. And he's like, well, I want to do my own thing. And so his dad's like, okay, you go to the recruiter, whatever, you do whatever you want. And Johnny goes to the recruiter with his one friend, and then his other friend, who's a girl named Carmen. Carmen wants to go, I think it's Carmen or Camelo or something. She wants to be a pilot. She wants to be a Starship pilot. So they take their tests, and the recruiter, as they're taking their tests to get into the army, the recruiter is even trying to talk them out of it. The recruiter even thinks joining the army is a bad idea. The recruiter is like, there are no wars, and even if there are wars, it's just a bad idea. We haven't been in any war for a long time, and even if one starts up, he's just like, the war only serves the elite. It does not serve the, and there's one passage in here where the recruiter is talking to them about the violence of war, and he's like, joining the army is a bad idea because the only way conflict in this world, in this universe, ever gets settled is through war. And do we want to keep perpetuating that? Do we want to keep perpetuating war? I mean, this is the recruiter. This is the army recruiter. He's like saying, no, we don't want any more soldiers. We don't want any wars. And if there are wars, it's a bad thing. So why are you joining? And this is the one line that I really like the recruiter saying. He's like, violence, naked force, has settled more issues in history than has any other factor. And the contrary opinion is wishful thinking at its worst. Breeds and people that forget this basic truth have always paid for it with their lives and freedoms. He sighed. Another year, another class of recruits, and for me, I'm just another failure. One can lead a child to knowledge, but one cannot make him think. In other words, he's like, violence, you're going to be the force, you're going to be the hammer, people, of the bureaucrats, and why do you want to do that? He's like, you can lead a child to knowledge, but you cannot make him drink. What is the moral difference, if any, between the soldier and the civilian? The difference, Johnny Rico answered, lies in the field of civic virtue. So Johnny's like talking back to the recruiter. He's like, oh, there's a good reason for me joining. He's like, the difference, he answered, lies in the field of civic virtue. A soldier accepts personal responsibility for the safety of the populace of which he is a member, defending it if need be with his life. The civilian does not. So what he's saying is, I want to be a soldier because I want to accept that responsibility of the safety of my people. You know, civilian, if I'm just a civilian, I don't have to worry about that. But I want to be the type that worries about it. And so he's like, oh, and then so the recruiter's left scratching his head like, who are these nutso? But anyway, they go join the army. Carmen, the girl, she tests and she becomes a star pilot, and Johnny Rico, he tests and they want him as an infantry soldier. So he goes out and he goes to basic training. And that's where we spend like 75 to 80% of the novel is in the basic training. It's all about basic training. It's kind of like if you've ever read The Lords of Discipline by Pat Conroy, or if you've watched The Band of Brothers on HBO, or even Full Metal Jacket, where the basic training scenes are a really integral part of the story. Well, that's one of the things that I was not expecting about this novel is it's a 200-page novel, and 150, 160 pages of it are just Johnny Rico in basic training, learning how to fight, learning why there's war, the histories of war, all of this stuff. And then, you know, they find out that these things called the bugs are out there trying to kill humans, and so then they have to go fight the bugs, which is what the movie is kind of about. Which the movie is all about, just the fighting the bugs. There's only about 2 chapters where they fight in bugs in this whole book. The whole book is basically about his basic training. And I think that Robert Heinlein did that on purpose because he wanted to show what it was like to train a warrior. And if you've ever read The Lords of Discipline, and if you watch those scenes in The Band of Brothers and Full Metal Jacket where the soldiers are just in training and how difficult it is, you know, you get a sense of what this book is actually about. It's kind of like an anti-war treaty, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, sometimes violent. It's very explicit in its theory that, you know, war is bad, but sometimes violence is the only thing that's going to bring peace. And so it's got a very conflicted back and forth. People debate war back and forth in this book all the time. One of the things that I liked was this this line here, this little bit of dialogue here where the drill sergeant is talking to our main character. And the sergeant said gently, "You've got it all wrong, Rico. There's no such thing as a dangerous weapon." "What do you mean, sir?" Rico asked. "There are no dangerous weapons. There are only dangerous people. And we are trying to teach you how to be dangerous to the enemy." You know, I work in law enforcement, and I agree with that. There's no danger. I mean, weapons are dangerous, yes, but they are extraordinarily dangerous in the hands of dangerous people. In fact, they're just inanimate objects until a dangerous person gets a hold of it. And then the sergeant goes on with the same war theme. The purpose of war is to support our government's decisions by force. The purpose is never to kill the enemy just to be killing him, but to make him do what you want him to do. Not killing, but controlled and purposeful violence. It's not the soldier's business to decide the purpose of the control. It's never a soldier's business to decide when or where or how or why he fights. That belongs to the statesman and the general. They must tell us when, where, how, and why. We supply the violence. Other people, other wiser people than us, supply the reasons and the control. Which, as it should be, is what the sergeant follows with. So as you can see, there's a lot of sentiment in this book, which I liked. I liked the fact that the book veered from the movie so much, because the movie was not about the themes of war. The movie was just a lot of special effects where bugs were killing people and people were killing bugs. And it had a little bit about the good and bad side of war. The recruiting scenes and things like that from the movie. But this is really, I'm still trying to wrap my head around, is this an anti-war book or a pro-war book or a little bit of both? Because it certainly seems like it's an anti-war book by a lot of what the characters say, but then other characters are very pro-war. So I'm trying to see where we're going with this, and that's why I enjoyed it so much, is because I did not come to a definitive conclusion. Because both people on both sides of the argument were making very good points. And I think that's a testament to sort of the brilliance of Robert Heinlein and him writing this, is he saw both sides of war, and he could explain and debate both sides very eloquently, and thus his characters explained and debated both sides of war very eloquently. And that's, I think, what this book is about. In my opinion, you could have varied opinions. To me, it's a anti-war, pro-war sort of like statement that came out in 1959. I think it's very good. I enjoyed this book way more than I enjoyed the movie. Now, the movie is 1000% action-packed explosions, blood, and guts. The novel is a lot of basic training scenes and a lot of people talking back and forth about the merits or non-merits of war. So I actually really like this. I think I might have liked it a little better than this Stranger in a Strange Land. So I'm going to give this one about a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's well worth reading. Well worth reading.